All right, ladies and gents, you're good to go, Ray.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
You're welcome.
You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Don't
Joe,
tell
you can
anybody
hit-
that. They'll think I can do it.
If you can hear me, I did something wrong here.
What?
We can hear you, JP.
Yeah, I just can't see anybody. I've only got Nancy on now.
Well,
I've got a big screen that says Zoom.
Okay.
mine at the top of the screen, you scroll where the little arrow is on either side. That's how mine is.
I mean, I just clicked on participants and it just went to one person.
So,
I can see you now as you're talking, as you speak. I
Yeah.
can see you.
okay, so JP, on the maybe up on the top of your screen, if you're moving the mouse around,
Yep.
is there a box that says speaker view or panel view or gallery view? Should say gallery view or speaker view. Maybe up on the top edge of your screen somewhere.
I see none of that.
No.
I see, I've got my window here is post attendees Zoom or whatever it is. That's what it says.
So, okay, on the bottom of your computer screen, across the very bottom of your screen, that's called a start menu or taskbar.
Yep.
Do you see do you have an icon, a picture of a camera?
Yeah, I clicked on it. I've got you.
So there should be one that says Zoom Cloud Meeting and one that says Zoom Webinar. If you put the arrow of the mouse over that camera, it should have two little screens that pop up.
Okay.
So
Wait a minute.
if you click on the one that says Zoom Webinar, it should bring you back into the screen where you see.
All right. But
Me
you,
talk.
can you see me anyway?
I can
Yeah.
see you, yes.
Yeah, we can see you.
I can go on like this because I can see when everybody speaks, I can see them.
Okay.
Well said, Joe?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, the meeting of the West Warwick Board of Canvassers for July 31st, 2020 is hereby called to order at 3:06 p.m. Members present are Chairperson Ray Lambert, Vice Chairperson Nancy LeBlanc, Member Burt Mollahan, alternate member Nancy Parenti, and alternate member JP Millette. We're all present and we have a quorum so we can transact our business. First order of business on the agenda is polling locations. Carrie, do you want to lead us into it or you want me to start yelling now?
No,
Yeah. Oh, Marianne still as me. Are you there, Marianne?
I got it.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Give us a lead in. What have you done?
Okay. So when we were asked about the polling locations, they said act as if there's nothing wrong. So we put 10 down, thinking that's what they would want us to put down, not knowing that that's what they were going to hold us to was 10. We tried to talk to them the other day and they were trying to bring us down to 4, but trying to make the postcard for each person to make sure that they hit the right ward, council, precinct.
Right.
We spent like half a day trying to figure out how to get the postcards correct to each person, because I would have to make a different.
Let me ask you a question. So they're out of the 10 because I don't want 10 polling places. We're all set with not having 10.
I don't know. That's what
I thought you said they got you down to 4.
they
No,
talked.
we can't do it. We can't do it, Ray.
Yeah, I got cut off.
Oh, wait a
Mollahan
minute,
there.
wait a minute, wait a minute.
you.
Go ahead, Mary
Can you
Ann.
hear me?
Oh.
Somehow I
I can
got
hear
cut
you.
off. I don't know why.
Mary Ann, wait, we can't hear you at all.
I can't hear Mary Ann. I can hear Bert loud and clear.
Okay.
Hold on,
that's
she's gonna come in here, I think, because I don't know what happened to her volume. It just disappeared.
Yeah, I got cut off completely. I don't know what happened. I had to redial it.
It disconnected again.
Oh, okay.
I have to get that other out. So it's 3:30, kick me out of here.
Okay,
All right.
see if, can you guys hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Get rid of this one.
Okay.
All right.
They're waiting on you to,
The combinations that would have to be made would set up for so much confusion that after about 4 to 5 hours of working it out, I said, we can't do this. We have to open 10 polling places. It won't be very busy. I will agree on that. However, we've talked to Board of Elections about this. We can have the same amount of poll workers because it's going to be not busy. You won't need as many poll workers. And that's what so we would have the same amount of poll workers that we would need for the 4, with the insanity that would entail. I'm only thinking of the voter, not me. It would be much easier to just slam everybody in one room, but the confusion it would cause, it would create so many problems for people. We just had to face that it was going to be 10, and that was it. And we couldn't.
I don't know. For the life of me, JP and I discussed this the other
I
day.
can't hear
See, I
you.
can't hear him. That's why.
Can't hear me?
That's what,
Can
I
you hear
don't
me
know.
now? My box is lighting up.
I can hear you. Ray.
Yeah, Ray, we can all
I
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Discussed this.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Here.
Okay, I don't see any need. The old Monsignor DeAngelis Manifold, for example, which
No.
would now be Sacred Heart. The way JP and I figured it out, there would only be two elections there, Langevin and Lancia. That's it. And I can't see opening up a polling place just for those 2 guys. I think that we should have 5 polling.
That's not true.
Yeah, who would be in?
We have Hannah Gallo.
She does not have a primary.
It doesn't matter. We have to have a polling place for her. Have to. Okay.
For what?
Then we,
Why do we need a polling place for a no election?
You can take this up at the Board of Elections.
I certainly will.
Why convey it? Oh, okay.
I'll give you
And-
an example. Felix, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah,
You can hear me?
I can.
Or
You
headphones.
can?
I'm gonna do
I
this.
can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
I gotta
You
go get that.
agree? I mean,
Be right back.
they want to open up a polling place for Hannah Gallo and she
Okay.
doesn't have anything.
Well, they're going to put her name. They're going to put her name on the ballot with no opponent, and everyone's going to vote. So it's probably a technicality. You have to talk to the Board of Elections.
Well, I certainly will, because that's ridiculous. Mary Ann, are you saying that?
She just went to go get the folder of the stuff that we talked about yesterday.
They're going to make Providence. I want to know if they're going to make Providence with 88,000 polling places, open every polling place, because somebody doesn't have a primary or nothing. But
Ray, what I don't understand. Ray, what I don't understand, as an example, the Democratic Town Committee, any town committee that does not exceed the number of members, they don't go into a primary. Their name is not on the ballot.
right,
The names are not listed. Right? But
Right.
because there's an elected official, a senator, they want the name on the ballot, even though there's no opponent.
I disagree, but go ahead.
Well, they want the name on the ballot. So yeah, I don't, you have to approach them.
You're going to give
I
us
mean, right now we have,
Mary Ann,
What?
they're going to give us the money? To outfit 10 polling places with plastic shields and everything else. They're going to give us the money?
No, I think she said 5. Did you say 5, Marianne?
No,
She said all.
She said 10.
10? You want 10? Oh.
Here's what the Board of Elections. All right, if we had 4 polling places, it'd be 3801, 3802, 3803. Turn that down here until we have to, because they can hear me here, right? You don't need that to be mute yourself. Okay, first polling place would be 3801, 3802, 3803, and 3810. That's senatorial 9, rep 25. Second one would be, now you're talking 4 different ballots in one polling place. Second polling place would be 3804 and 3805, senatorial 9, rep 26. The third polling place would be 3807, 3808, and 3809, senatorial 9, rep 27. And the fourth one would be 3806, Hannah Gallo's district, Senate 27, rep 26. That is putting a major amount of different ballots into one place where we would need all these extra people to work Why would we change everything that the voters are used to in this town when they vote for the same amount of money and leave their 10?
What same amount of money? It's gonna cost you more money with 10 polling places than with 4.
Well, it might cost a little more, but we're accommodating the voter as well. This is insanity. The thought of what I just read you that we would even entertain boggles my mind. It really does.
You
But
know,
then we need double the amount of moderators and clerks when we go to 10.
that's correct.
It's double the amount. It's double the amount of infrastructure. Do you guys understand how, I think logistically, the effort put into the Civic Center was outstanding. How would you like to do all that with the
Civic
plastic?
Center isn't one of the polling places listed with the Board of Elections for this election.
I missed that. Could you repeat that,
I
please?
said, how would you like to put all the effort?
No, I got you, Felix. I got you. I didn't get Mary Ann's comment. What was that comment you just made?
I'm audio.
The Civic Center is not included, she said.
No, I
what's wrong?
understand
We
that.
can
But
use
my
this-
point is, it's the effort put in to set it up. It's a lot of effort to do that 10 times.
Especially when Labor Day is the day before.
Isn't the big problem going to be to notify every voter in West Warwick where they're
It's
going
gonna
to
be a
vote?
huge problem.
I mean, you have to send out what, 22,000 postcards,
20,000, yeah.
20,000
You're
postcards.
gonna confuse people so much. Leave it alone. I really
Nonsense.
looked at it.
I
We spent
don't
a
think,
lot of time on this.
you must let the people.
The best interest of the voter, the 10 is the best way to go with 6 or 7 poll workers each.
First of all, you're forgetting that guys like Felix and Pat will tell their voters in the districts. Now, don't forget, you vote at the Civic Center. Their candidates will tell the people where to vote. I would think. I did. I was chairman for 10 years. That's how we used to do it. And I'm sure Felix and Pat do the same thing. They tell them, listen now, you got to vote. You're not voting at the Angelus Manor anymore. You're voting here.
Okay, one thing that you guys are saying that it's gonna cost more money for poll workers, but you know how much money it's gonna cost me for postcards?
Yeah, I was gonna ask the difference.
Yeah, well, wait a minute. I don't want to tell you how much. I want to know the number. How much?
I have no idea how much 20,000 postcards is gonna cost.
It's probably about, what, to print them,
And
get
then mail
everything,
them.
mail them, all of them, probably say 75 cents a postcard. That's a lot of poll workers.
It's 75 cents a postcard now?
Well, you gotta get them hand printed and
Cause I gotta have 4 different ones printed.
you go down to 65 if it makes you happy.
I thought it's 30 cents for a postcard.
You gotta have them printed, Felix. You're
Yeah,
not handwriting
That's right.
20,000 postcards.
so
You send them to a printer, they set it up, they charge you, etc. You mail them out.
Kerry, let me ask you a question. Did you check the schools? Can we use those polling places?
No, we haven't heard back from her, have we?
I have to, we did put out, we've cleared, the Manor and, Clyde.
JP, wait a minute. Let me interrupt a minute. JP, bring up your point about Clyde and the Manor.
No, I mean, other senior citizens, the vulnerable senior citizens, according to all the gossip that goes out about now, the man is going to allow us to go in there.
I spoke to the exec director yesterday. He said, okay.
Is
Okay.
it feasible to go in there?
What?
Is it feasible to go in there? Like JP said, those are people, they don't even want to open schools because of the elderly.
Yeah, well, I
Hold
mean,
the polling place right in
certainly,
the elderly home is,
certainly we would hope most people, the goal is to have most people mail ballot, of course. That's probably the safest thing anybody can do in this pandemic.
Is that,
Mhm.
look, that 20-day rule, does that apply to the primary also?
Yes,
You have 20-day early voting for the primary and the general election.
you have from, until August 18th. August 18th, is it? To mail ballot, get your
Yes.
application in, and then after that, until election day, you have
September 8th
emergency
at-
balloting.
But do they have the early voting?
Yeah,
The
yeah, mail
in-person early
balloting.
voting in the town hall?
Yeah, you can come and do that. It's emergency. Yeah, anybody can come in and do that.
Is there
Yeah.
going to be a voting machine there and
Yes,
somebody
yes,
manning?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We're opening it up like a polling place. a very, very small polling place. Well,
Who's gonna be, sitting in that room all day long with the voting machine?
nobody has to sit in that room, but we're not open to the public. So what would happen is we will allow them to come in under strict guidelines, vote and leave. They can't come far in, but they can come in and vote and leave. Trying to make sure to maintain privacy and confidentiality to every voter and ensure, you know, we have the guy who's disinfecting every time somebody walks in this building anyway. We disinfect all day, so we'll continue to do that. You can't come in without a mask. You can't. That's one of the rules here. You can, you know, we can't force that at the polls, but because we're close to the public, we can here.
So I mean, just hypothetically, if I wanted to go in and vote on one of those days, I go to the town hall and who do I call? I call the Board of Canvassers? And then you come out and I tell you what precinct I'm from.
You just give your
Give
name
me a
and your
ballot and I
ID.
vote.
You give me your name and ID,
Yeah,
There'll be a poll pad here.
just like you would at the polls.
and you're gonna have 10 different ballots,
We'll have to.
aren't you? You'd have to have 10 different
We have
ballots.
to,
A ballot.
absolutely.
Okay.
We
All
have them. They're all right here. 10 different ballots.
Well, let me say this. My
No,
proposal-
it's actually, what is it, 20 ballots?
Yeah,
Republican
20,
and
yeah.
Dem.
Oh, well, yeah, well, all right.
Republican. Well, my proposal is 5 polling places. Number 1, hang on, I got them numbered here.
Can't do 5. Yeah, we tried that. That 5 doesn't work.
Well, I've got 5 polling places. I did it by ward. Felix, I think that was,
Ray, let me ask you something. If JP and I want to go vote 19 days before, that means anyone from the town can go to one place and the town would present them with would have X number of ballots.
correct.
What's the difference between voting 19 days before and the day of? We could technically have one polling place that everyone goes to. If we're allowing early voting with one poll pad with 20 ballots, what's the difference whether you vote?
20 ballots, what does that mean?
What's the difference? You're accommodating them 20, you're accommodating the voter to come in from anywhere in town to one place, the town hall, to vote early. What's the difference if they come in, if they go into one polling place, the Civic Center, on September 8th? What is the difference? Why is it complicated? Why can't we could have one polling place.
Well, we do for the PPP and the referendum, we don't say.
Right, but if we can accommodate them within 20 days to go to one place, the town hall, anyone from any district in town can go to the town hall in early voting. What's the difference on September 8th? Why can't we have one polling place on September 8th?
That's a good point.
That is a good point.
I don't understand the difference.
I like that.
That also, if I can add, Felix, that has its advantages also in the fact that 1, the Board of Canvassers will be at the Civic Center all day. We don't have to go to town hall and run to this polling place, that polling place, or the other. 2, if you have new moderators, and I discussed this with Paul, if you have new moderators, if the one polling place is in the Civic Center and you have to have 2 or 3 moderators, if they get in trouble, they can go see Paul Richards right there at the Civic Center. You can't let them go to Christ the King.
Look, the observation I made was the day the Board of Canvassers was in the Civic Center, there is a big difference between the Board of Canvassers being there and the Board of Canvassers not being at all the other ones because there's 10 or 5. There's going to be a big difference.
That's
Okay?
correct. That's what I'm saying.
Right, exactly.
We have the advantage of being in the Civic Center, all 5 of us, the whole day.
Right, but I'm not understanding if we can allow anyone from anywhere in the town to vote at the town hall 20 days before, 10 days before.
What happened?
What happened?
Felix,
He lost his voice.
Felix, we lost you at the end. Repeat.
Well, I don't know. I'm still here. You still there?
Yeah, repeat the end of that.
Yeah, now I
I
can see
said
him.
I don't see the difference on 10 days before. Anybody anywhere in West Warwick can go to the town hall and vote on a poll pad. Why can't we go? What's the difference on September 8th? I'm not seeing it.
Well, the only difference is you would have to send out postcards, correct, Mary Ann?
Correct.
Yeah, you're gonna send postcards. Everyone votes in one place, and then there'd be several poll pads. So we can accommodate anyone at any time for early voting, but we can't accommodate them on September 8th. I guess that's what we're saying.
That's a good point.
Well,
Because we did do it for the PPP.
And the all-day referendum.
Yeah.
We've been doing the all-day referendum
And
like.
actually, I did
So
look. at the
why can't we do it? Why can't we do it there?
I did look at the numbers for 2016, and there was Representative Langevin had a primary. There
Okay,
wasn't a primary in the Senate, but there was, I believe, a primary for some council people. And the numbers were pretty close to what the numbers were for the referendum. I think maybe 400 more voters for the 2016 state primary. So, I mean, but it's the parking that you have to consider. And if school is in session, there might be some problem there.
Do you think that a person should go into the school to vote if the kids are in school?
no,
That's not right.
we don't know, right, Kerry?
No, I don't know yet.
We don't know if we can even use the schools or if they're open.
Well, Karen, we had talked to Karen earlier. It's just things change all the time. She was amenable to it.
Ray, can I ask you a question?
Certainly.
The number of poll workers that we needed on the primary, am I correct that we needed we needed a certain number to achieve a yield of a certain number because we had a lot of fallout, people that said yes, then said no?
Oh, you lost me on the, what
In
was
other
it?
words, in order to have 15 poll workers say yes to work that day, am I
Yeah.
correct? In other words, if we need 50 poll workers for 10 polling places or 60, am I correct? We might have to start with over 100 because we may have a bunch of yeses that change their mind.
Yes, we had that in the PPP. The girl didn't show up.
Right. So we need to understand what our net yield was to achieve a poll worker to say yes. Do we have to reach out to over 100 to end up with 50 or 60?
Maybe not 100, but we have to end, you're right, we have to reach out to more than 60 if that's what we need.
We had a lot of fall off then, right?
We had one for the PPP and one for the all-day referendum, but we only had about 7 or 8 poll workers. So 1 in 7. What, JP, you're the mathematician. What percentage is that?
JP is muted.
I thought we had 15 poll workers.
I'm not that quick.
No, we didn't have 15. We had 4 supervisors, a moderator. That's 5 and some line people. We had about 8.
For the PPP?
No,
for
for the PPP, we had 6 supervisors.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had 6 supervisors for the PPP, and we didn't really need that many. But we had.
Right, okay.
But you're right, there's a certain number. If you need 60 poll workers, you got to reach out to at least 70 or something, 75, so to make sure, keep them on standby.
How much input is the Board of Elections going to have in what we're saying now? I mean,
No, apparently, Kerry, did they tell you 4?
The Civic Center is not listed as a polling place.
Yeah, well, we can list it. Kerry, did
Okay.
they tell you,
Take care of that.
where'd you get the 4, Kerry?
The 4 was talking to Miguel.
You were talking to the Board of Elections.
For a
And,
long time.
yeah, but give or take, they were semi-amenable to 4?
So the only breakdown they could figure out that would work were the ones I just told you.
They don't know
Sounds
the
like you're in an echo chamber. I don't know if that's.
I know, because I'm on my phone and she's on the computer.
What?
Okay,
Ray, it sounds like Ward 5. It sounds like Ward 5 is all SERPA,
Yes.
all SERPA, and it's all the same Senate 9 candidate.
Yeah, and she's also goes into one polling.
In Ward 4, there are some people, that's 2 different rep districts in Ward 4.
Yes, that's correct. She's only in one of them.
Yeah.
There's 2 rep districts in Ward 4. Norray has some of 4, and SERPA has some of 4.
SERPA has what we used to call, when we went there in Ward 4, used to have I think it was Ward 4. She had Maisie Quinn. And
Right.
Norette had St. Mary's.
Right, so is that where the difficulty is, having 2 reps in one polling place?
Not really, because my theory is if they walk in the Civic Center and they say, I am, such and such, they got their, voter ID or whatever, the postcard, and then you say, go right there, and you point to one, section that doesn't have SERPA on the ballot if it's a Norette person.
Right, now you look at Ward 3, all of Ward 3 is Norray and the same Senate candidate.
That's correct.
In Ward 2, some is Norray and I think some is Jackson, correct?
Wait a minute. I gotta check with my thing.
I think some of Ward 2 is Rep Jackson.
Let me check.
The Phoenix part of Ward 2 is Jim Jackson.
that's the Holy Ghost.
Yes, that's
Yes.
correct, I believe.
3801 is Rep 25, which is Norette. 3805 is Rep 26, which is Jackson.
Right, so we have Ward 2 with 2 rep candidates, Ward 3 with 1 rep candidate, Ward 4 with 2 rep candidates, Ward 5 with 1 rep candidate.
Right.
But only one primary.
Yeah, Norette doesn't have a primary. SERPA does.
Jackson doesn't either.
So can't we bring this down to one in each? I still don't know why we need 10.
That's why I'm saying my suggestion was 5. I didn't finish it. If we can use the schools, I had number 1 being Wakefield Hills, number 2 being the Civic Center, number 3, Christ the King, number 4, Maisie Quinn, and number 5, Greenbush School. 5 polling places. Now, in a couple of those, like you said, Felix, somebody's going to come in.
You
and
can't,
you're gonna have
can you
to
say those again?
I had number 1 is Wakefield Hills. Number 2, which would be Ward 1. I did it by wards. Number 2 would be the Civic Center, which would be Ward 2. Number 3,
Ward 2 is
Christ the King Church, would be which is Ward 3. Number 4 would be Maisie Quinn, which is Ward 4. And Greenbush would be number 5, which is Ward 5.
You can't use the Civic Center.
I don't understand. She said that she could put, Felix, how many did she say she could put in there, Swanson?
It's not about capacity.
Why can't we use the Civic Center?
I thought 3 or 4. I thought 3 or 4. I don't, maybe 3.
Yeah, and now Mary Ann's saying we can't use it at all.
Not for this.
Why?
Not one of the registered polling places with the Board of Elections.
Well, we'll register it.
Oh, okay.
Well, why did we use it for the PPP? Wasn't it because of COVID and aren't the same circumstances now?
Yes, and keep in mind that Nellie Gorbea walked in there for the PPP and said it was excellent. She said you could put more than 1 polling place in here. Remember that, JP?
Yes, I do.
It was a good place. It was well ventilated. Well ventilated.
It really was, Bert.
Pat Keenan, you haven't said anything. You want to jump in here and say something?
I understand that the Civic Center is not registered with the Board of Elections, but I got to say that's my top choice too.
Ray, does a polling place have to be, the Civic Center, which is Ward 1,
I was just gonna say Civic Center's Ward 1.
can a Ward 3 voter go vote across the street?
That I'm not 100%
In-
sure on, but
in the
they've done it in other polling places. I mean, in other communities, if they couldn't get it. If you couldn't get something in Ward 1, then the Civic Center would be,
I mean, bear in mind, we are in a pandemic. The Civic Center is across the street from Ward 3.
Yeah, I would think the circumstances are the same as it was in the PPP,
right.
which we did use the Civic Center.
Is anybody available to call Bob Reposa or Miguel or somebody like right now?
No,
I already tried to call, they didn't call me back.
Ray, can you call him?
yeah, go ahead.
No, you should call him. You're the chair.
All right, well, I will call him, but I'm not calling him right now. I'm sitting here doing the Zoom meeting, and it is 3:35. We got to do the poll workers. I will call him.
I mean, if we can call him right now, he can become part of the meeting. It would be very helpful.
Go ahead.
Well,
You got his number, JP?
no.
Let's find out. Good idea. I mean, I can go get my phone. If you don't have his number.
Board of Elections,
Hmm.
222-2345.
Well, you might need a step. Is anybody calling?
Are you gonna call him or you want me to call him?
Go ahead, call him.
All right, I'm gonna excuse myself over here for a minute.
I'll be honest with you, I don't really care what he says. I'm saying the Civic Center, I agree with Pat. I'm saying the Civic Center is just as good. If they're gonna say you can't vote across the street, then I'm gonna say you come down and set up the polling place. They don't know the towns and the buildings.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I have a question. Is the town still under a state of emergency?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, town hall.
Can't
is
we
open.
use that? Can't we use that as an excuse, or as a reason, not an excuse, a reason?
Yup.
To me, the situation is the same as it was for the PPP.
You've got another thing too. Remember, if you want to say that the Civic Center is in another ward, Ward 2, that's who I had voting at the Civic Center, Ward 2. Ward 2 would be Sacred Heart Church and Holy
Sacred
Ghost.
Heart Church. That's Ward
So
1.
that's Ward
Ward
1,
1.
I'm sorry, Ward 2 would be
Clyde Towers and
Clyde Towers, which is very, very small. Very, very small, and it's a senior thing. And the other one is Holy Ghost. And good luck getting into Holy Ghost the day after Labor Day. Good luck.
They're not doing anything Labor Day, supposedly.
Sure, they're not even going to have their thing on the last day where they,
I don't know. As far as I know, they're not having anything.
well,
I don't know.
I don't want to wait till the
But
day.
you can't leave voting equipment in there if they're gonna have something that weekend.
That's what I'm saying. So there's, to answer you, Pat Keenan, there's your excuse right there. The two polling places in Ward 2 are not as good as the Civic Center, which is only across the street.
Right.
You guys are gonna have fun in the general election at Clyde.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be brutal.
There's no parking there,
Where?
Clyde Towers.
Yeah, that's
We had a
true.
problem the
Good
last
point.
time.
Good point, Nancy Parenti. There's no parking too.
yeah, and there's
Right.
not that empty lot there on the side anymore either.
Right. There's no parking. They're a senior center in a sense, a senior housing authority, and there's no room in there to vote. I mean,
Right.
they're 6 feet apart if there's a line, if it's raining or whatever.
There's tons of
Hey,
more
hey,
people
good luck.
living there than there
Good
used to
luck
be.
at 3:40 PM getting the Board of Elections on a Friday afternoon.
At 3:45.
No, I know Miguel was there.
Ray, do you think they would yield and consider the Elks I mean, looking forward with this Clyde Tower problem?
Well, the Elks,
The Elks is out.
the Elks has got first of all, we don't know if we can use it. And secondly, they were disqualified because of reasons.
The parking
Right.
lot.
The disabilities. They
Yeah.
didn't,
Yeah, the entrance is not good enough. for the
that's,
school.
yeah, I knew it was something. I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see JP's hands going. He looks like me. Look at his hands going. I hope he has something good when he comes back.
Don't count on it.
That didn't work either. No parking.
They probably already made up their mind.
Which is why when we said something about having less, he was like, no, you guys picked 10. We're like, no, we didn't. You asked us how many if it were a normal situation.
JP, what'd you find out?
I can't hear him. Who is that? You're on mute.
So,
JP,
I left him a message. He wasn't at his desk.
I know it.
Miguel or Bob?
I'll
Miguel.
call him on Monday.
So I left him a message.
While you were on the phone, JP, seeing that Ward 2 is your ward, we brought out, Nancy LeBlanc brought out, and Pat Keenan, we brought out that the Ward 2 polling places, knowing that the Civic Center is in Ward 3.
One.
Sorry. What Ward 2 polling places are Clyde Towers, no parking,
We talked to them this morning.
senior center thing, and no room inside to vote. Those are the three things for that. And the other one is the
Holy Ghost.
the Holy Ghost. So there's your reasons. And we don't know if they're having a Labor Day celebration. If they are, you ain't getting in there. All right. So there's your two reasons. And like Pat Keenan said, state of emergency.
You know,
It's not like we're moving the polling place for Ward 1 to Greenbush Road. We're moving it across the street to the Civic Center. As a matter of fact, some of the stuff where the Civic Center, if you would put it in the center of town, some of it is Ward 2. I think Ward 1 comes right up to it.
yeah, I think when they redistrict, it became in Ward 1, but it used to be in Ward 2,
Yes.
Civic Center, yeah. But, you know, we're gonna have a hard time finding poll workers.
That's
And
right.
we really, I think, should concentrate on keeping them for the general election, because that's more important to have them all open.
All right. I'm going to move on to the poll workers, Nancy. Number of workers needed per polling location, 5 to 7. Could you tell us, Kerry, how you arrived at that number per polling location?
I think the breakdown was like one moderator, one clerk, but the clerk would also be the disaffiliation
Right.
person.
You had the disaffiliation clerk in here. Go ahead.
Yes. So we said like the clerk would have to do clerk and disaffiliation. Then it would be only one set of supervisors.
Yep.
And then the exterior door person would basically have to be the disinfectant person too.
Okay.
So it was kind of,
That's coming close, because when it comes time for him to go inside the polling
Right.
place and rub down everything, who's going to be monitoring the people coming in the door?
right, that's
Yeah.
what,
I think, no, when we were at both the PPP and the referendum, the interior line person, I think, would be a better person to do the disinfecting. Number one, they're already inside there, and they were sitting down, a lot during the day. I think that person would be better served to fill in that position.
I agree.
or-
Now, Felix, there's where you get your polling people. If you have 10
No,
polling,
I
you
understand.
need 60 poll workers, right, Kerry?
yes,
You
At
just
least.
need 6 people. you're gonna need 60 poll workers for 10 polling places. For 5, you're only gonna need 30.
Ray, let me ask you this. You can always iron out the number after. If I see where the Board of Elections has stuff on Facebook looking for poll workers. How does the board feel about the town of West Warwick? For example, I know Kerry posted the Board of Elections stuff on her own on her own Facebook site. How do you think the town would feel about going on, like, example, Concerned Citizens or Wonderfully Majestic or others, where the town would go out and indicate anyone interested in working as a poll worker, please contact, so-and-so, and then we'll see if they're a deer or not. What does the town feel about the town having the name on one of those Facebook sites?
I would leave that up to Kerry because she's the one who recruited her nephew, who's excellent for the PP.
And I got my sister-in-law for this one coming up.
All right,
Right, but the issue is having the name on a private Facebook site. Would the town object to that?
No, but here's the problem. Once you submit your names, that's according to law. Once Pat submits her names, according to law, and then Kerry does her thing, then you see if you don't have any, then you got to scramble to get them. And then if you want to put it on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of how you're going to reach out to people, right?
Right. But you reach out, the main point is 5 is 30 poll workers, 10 is 60. That's the key.
That's why we're having a meeting.
It's a duplication of moderators and clerks. That's what it is.
Right.
And more supervisors.
I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to call Reposer on Monday, and I'm going to bring to his attention everything we said today. And if you remember correctly, Nancy LeBlanc was on, Nancy Parenti was on. Bert, you on? Bert.
He fell asleep.
Okay. If you remember when we had the polling place, I know I brought this up before. Remember when we had the election with no school committee member declared? And so 2 people, the Republican Party and Democrat went out and got somebody. I think the Democrats got, what's his name, Felix, on the school committee?
Louis Cologne.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Democrats got Louis Cologne, the Republicans got somebody. They went out and campaigned, and then we had to count the ballots. I wanted to put something on the ballot because the ballot had 0, no names. So people walk in and say, oh, okay, we don't vote for that office. And then nobody votes. So I said, let's vote. Let's put on the ballot. There is no declared candidate for this position. You are free to write in a qualified candidate of your choice. Blah, blah, blah. I've narrowed it down. Judy went to the Secretary of State, and the Secretary of State said to her, if you remember Nancy LeBlanc, the Secretary of State said, no, nobody touches the ballot but us. I said to Judy, give me the phone number. She gave me the phone number. I called the Secretary of State. Guess what? They put my wording on the ballot for the school committee. And I'm not saying that to blow my own horn. I'm saying these people right off the bat is no, until you start yelling at them and tell them, hey, listen.
Well, they don't have the level of authority. They have to find the authority to do it.
Well, recruiting the poll workers is going to be really hard this time.
Yes,
and and I think you got to think about the big picture in November.
Right.
Money wise, and also recruiting poll workers.
All right. Anybody have anything to add? I'm going to call Reposer on Monday.
Kerry should, she should give us an idea of when those postcards have to go out.
They need to go out like ASAP.
That's what I mean. I mean,
if I have
whatever we're going to do, we're going to have to do it in a hurry.
If I have to change all of these to make sure that all these numbers line up.
Well, I'll call him tomorrow if he's around, but I don't think he's going to be around.
No, I can text him, but.
Well, you text him and say, Ray Lambert wants to talk to you. If he calls me at 821-5595, I'll get the message. He leaves his number. I'll call him over the weekend.
I don't have Miguel's cell phone number, but I have Bob.
Well, it's,
I don't want to talk to, what, Miguel, I want to talk to the boss, Reposa.
Excuse you. Hold on.
You're laughing, Pat, all the time. Huh? I can see you, you know.
I know. That's good.
Hold on, I'm texting him right now.
And I'm going to bring up Felix's point. Felix,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to bring up your point. If they can vote on, early voting, everybody from the whole town of West Warwick can come to the town hall and vote. Why can't they, vote in at least 5 polling places, if not 1 or 2 at the Civic Center? And if necessary, I'll call Nellie Gorbea.
another thing, we should have the numbers available, like Nancy's got the numbers from last time, so you can make the numbers available to them.
What are they, Nancy?
I don't have them right here. But the, let's see, the referendum was like just around 1,000. And I believe, well, if you give me a minute while we're waiting, I'll look.
No, that's all right. You call me later on.
Oh, okay, okay.
Anybody have anything that, I'm done with the poll workers. Anybody have anything to add?
Ray, the only thing I think they're gonna push back on is they might make an argument on parking, but
Parking, if we have 5, oh, you mean 1 at the Civic Center? Yeah, well, they probably will.
they might have a parking issue.
Yeah, well, we certainly accommodated the parking for the referendum, and there was around 1,000 people there, so.
Right.
And I will get those numbers for.
If they bring up parking, they're gonna get, Clyde Towers thrown in their face, because there is no parking there when those.
None whatsoever.
Right, I just want to make one point. Kerry, I got a call from a voter asking me about mail ballot application,
Yep, I'm listening.
and she indicated that she was told she has to wait until she gets a postcard. And I had indicated, well, there is a mail ballot application out now, which I emailed to her.
Yep.
She asked me why she has to wait to receive a postcard. I said, well, you really don't, because there is one out. So I think if people are asking for mail ballot application, do you want to point them to where they can get it, or email?
Oh, yeah, I send them out every day. I get about
okay.
15 phone calls a day.
She was under the impression that you have to wait for a postcard to get it.
No,
Okay,
nope, there's a postcard that should have been hitting mailboxes today from the Secretary of State to show you how to do it. I did see the little sample one in my email today that showed like the 3 different ways to vote.
I understand.
All
Nope,
right.
I get people all day long calling me. I was told I was the nicest person at town hall.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what somebody said to me? They said, "You must be a temporary."
Get them.
I said, "No."
Well, you're us.
The board always gives you credit, Kerry.
Yes, you do.
All
All
right.
right, so I sent Bob a text.
All right.
I don't know what will
Give him
happen.
my home number.
I
Call
will.
me anytime over the weekend,
Okay,
and leave his number if I'm not there.
okay.
All right. General discussion. Nancy LeBlanc.
Hasn't this been what it's been?
Well,
Yeah, everything I had to say, I said already, so.
All right. Bert.
Wake
Bert.
up, Bert.
He fell asleep.
I don't see his mic on.
I see Bert Mollahan, the name here, but
Yeah, but there's nothing on the side there for the microphone.
Bert's not here.
I don't know where Bert is now.
Bert's not,
Nancy Parenti.
Is
Nancy,
that-
I don't have anything.
They're just general discussion.
JP.
That's it. It's over.
Ray,
They're all set.
I just want to add one
wait a
thing.
minute, JP.
all set.
I was told
I'm all set
by
too. Wait a minute, Felix, wait a
someone
minute.
on the ballot box that's put.
Oh,
Felix, wait a minute. All right,
hi,
JP,
Bob.
Bob.
How are you?
you got nothing?
I'm good. I'm good. We're just in a Zoom meeting and we're
JP,
trying
you have
to
anything?
explain about like the 10 polling locations.
Hold on, Bob Repose is on the line.
And they're not having it. And we're trying to explain to them how we spoke with Miguel and like broke it down to 4. but then, perfect. I'll do it right now. All right, bye. Don't hang up. I'm putting them on Zoom.
All right. JP, you got anything on the general discussion?
No, just, we're gonna have to abide by the same rules for each polling place as we did for the
I guess.
PPP.
I guess you can't
And
differentiate.
masks aren't gonna be involved, and they're not gonna
I
take
would say
temperatures
yes.
or anything like that.
I thought the state said that you couldn't take temperatures.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
If the
Yeah.
same rules, there's no temperature taking, and you're not required to wear a mask.
We would adhere to the same PPE.
Yeah, okay.
It worked very well.
I'm letting it cool. I'm letting it cool. Concentrate on that. I did.
No.
I didn't miss anything, did I?
Nope.
I thought I smelled the flower. That mess. Oh, sorry.
Bert, are you on now? Nope.
I think he's on, but he was muted before.
I just unmuted him, so Bert should be able to talk to you.
Bert, are you on?
He said
Bert,
he was coming in.
Mm-hmm.
No, not yet. He said, I'm coming on right now. Joe, do you see somebody coming on?
Nope, there is nobody extra joining in at the moment.
Oh, I can't hear him.
No, he says, go ahead,
Nobody comes
actually
in.
going at the moment.
No, nobody coming on?
Nope, no new people.
All right, because he's like, I hope I look good. I'm on my deck. I just gave him the link. It's like you sent it to my email, right? I'm like, yeah. Oh, is he coming in as me too? Bob?
Hello there.
Yep.
Oh, you're carrying out a little too.
All right, Robert, this is Ray
You keep
Lambert.
sending him your personal. All right.
Unmute.
Well,
I'll be right back.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I can't. You hear him, Nancy? I can't hear him.
I kind of saw.
Hey, man. Yeah, like, how are you? So, are we at YouTube?
We're at Zoom.
Okay. So, what can I do for you?
Still can hear you, Bob. I don't know about everybody else, but. All right, we're having a discussion about polling locations.
Okay.
There was a question about 10 or 5 or even 1 for the Civic Center. First, let's do, Felix, why don't you bring up your point about the early voting before we get to the locations? Felix,
Yeah, well, in general, there is no 1, 2, or 3 council race or school committee race. There's only a Ward 4. There's no Ward 4 or Ward 5. There's a Ward 5 goes the Ward 4 and Ward 5 school committee unopposed. So we have a Rep 27 primary, and we have a Senate 9 primary. So the question is, we have early voting X number of days before, where someone can walk into the town hall from anywhere in town and vote early. With the next number of days, they go to one place and vote early. The question is, why can't we have a smaller number of polling places? We're hearing it could be a mailing problem or dividing it up. In other words, we have Ward 4, we have Rep District 25 and 27 in Ward 4. And we have Rep District 27 in Ward 5. We have Rep District 26 and 25 in Ward 2. So we have two wards with 2 rep districts split up. The
Now,
question is, why can't we reduce the number of polling places from 10 to less?
okay. Now, Felix, we've known each other a long time. The state of Rhode Island does not have early voting. We have emergency voting, which can happen in the last 20 days, but the word early, we don't. Okay. And there's very reasons the General Assembly did not want early voting. But put that aside, yes, you are correct. Mail ballots are going to be primarily used for September. Emergency voting in the 20 days is going to be extremely prevalent to watch. To me, the least amount of voters going to. Now, originally, West Warwick asked for 10 states. We received a letter this week from Mary Ann asking to go to 5. I have no problem with that. We can accommodate that. And that you only have a Senate and a Rep 27 primary, which is not a local primary. It always combine your polls.
we didn't hear that. Can everybody hear him?
It's breaking up a
Breaking
little
up.
bit.
Yeah,
It's breaking up.
So you're okay with 5 polling? Is that correct?
I am okay with 5. Now,
Okay, the next question is, are you okay? Are you okay? The ward, we tried to do it by ward, 5 wards, 5 polling places.
mhm.
Got it? Okay. Ward 2, Ward 1. We were going to move to the Civic Center, which is right across the street, because the 2 polling places in Ward 1, one of which is Sacred Heart Church, which is only, there's the only primary. And the other polling place is the Holy Ghost. If they do something on Labor Day, you ain't getting in there to set up a polling place. So we wanted to move it to the Civic Center. And as Nellie Gorbea said, came to see the PPP. She said, this is beautiful. This is great. You could even have more than one polling place in here. So I said, thank you. And yeah, so we want to move the two polling places, combine them as one, into one polling place at the Civic Center. And that would,
For you. Now, you're in Senate 9. How many of does Senate 9 cross over town lines?
yes. The only one it doesn't cover is the one at
Sacred Heart.
Sacred Heart, 3806,
Which is what Senate number?
yeah.
27.
The town has Senate 9.
Which is no primary. So let me ask you, in Senate 9, are any of the candidates that have declared the primary live in West Warwick?
I didn't hear. I did live in West Warwick. I didn't hear the beginning part.
Any of the Senate 9 candidates live in West Warwick?
Yes, they all do. They all do.
And how many are there?
There's Jeff Russell, there is John Burke, and I think that's it for the Democratic primary. There's a Republican primary too. Lance, oh no, that's the
Goslin.
yeah, but that's it's the Goslin's election. So those are the only two Senate 9 primaries. They both live in West Warwick. John Burke and Jeff Russell.
Jeff Russo.
And then how about rep district?
How about the what rep district? The rep district is Langevin and whoever's running against them, and
Dylan Conley.
and Lancia and somebody else.
Who is it, Kerry?
James Langevin and Dylan Conley.
Oh, yeah, but that's not Rep 27, right?
No.
That-
Rep 27.
Oh, Rep 27 is Pat Serpa. She's in
Pat Serpa
not there yet.
and Delmenico.
Now, do both of them live in West Warwick?
Yes, they do.
Yes.
So I'm going to tell you, we can definitely they're not going to be combination of polls. They're going to become a vote center. Okay. Now, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Vote
So-
center. Yeah.
Happen, and I'm going to have it as an agenda item for my board on Wednesday. But let's say you right now, if you were opening all 10 polls, you would minimum of 60 people.
Correct.
Correct, yeah.
I understand you're having trouble with poll work.
Yes.
Okay. And how about polling places? Has anybody dropped off?
No.
No.
That is okay. So
But some of them, excuse me.
3 of them are schools, and we're not sure if they're even going to be
Excuse me,
open.
but there's some other points too. One of those 10 polling places is Clyde Towers, where there's no parking. It's a senior center with the COVID thing, and there's no room.
Ray, we're going to move because
We can't hear you.
you're probably going to move out of hours. You're probably going to be asked to leave.
Right. And same thing.
Now, the 3 schools that you have, Kerry,
Yes.
are public schools.
Yes.
See, they can't keep you out of there. It's
No,
still-
I know. I know, but they're open for the primary. If school is open, those 3 polling places would be open during school hours.
It can't be. State law requires that they're closed. So if they're the primary, state law requires that they're closed because they are to be closed by state law to be used for a polling place.
Yeah, but we're all set with that because Greenbush, we got-
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You have 10 polls. Why couldn't we combine them into your 3 schools? Because then you have coverage from one.
no, we're all set. We got Christ the King, which is excellent, excellent poll for this. And that would be in Ward 3. We got Greenbush in Ward 5. We got Maisie Quinn, another school in Ward 4. We got Wakefield Hills in Ward 1. The only one is the Civic Center, which we want to use, but it's right across the street from Ward 2. And the 2 Ward 2 polling places are no good.
Ray, you have me confused because,
I can't hear.
well, you have me confused because in one way, you're telling me you want to take all 10 precincts and combine at the Civic Center.
No, no,
No?
just Ward 2. See, the Civic Center, listen, the Civic Center's in Ward 3. But
No,
it's-
Ward 1.
Ward 1, sorry, I keep saying Ward 3, Ward 1, but it's across the street from Ward 2. So it's going to be out of the ward.
I have no problem with that.
Okay, that's it. The Civic Center.
We actually can make
Let
this
me
a-
run them by you. Let me run them by you just to make sure.
I got it, but what I'm trying to tell you is I can make this easier for you
Okay, how you gonna do that?
because we can actually, we can open the 10 polls, but what we will do is like at the Civic Center, you could move for talking purpose 3 of your polls into the Civic Center where they become 1 poll. They become a vote center. When Ray Lambert into the Civic Center, he says that his priest, and he shows them his driver's, they pull it up on the poll pad. You have poll workers working together with a runner behind the supervisor to go to the ballots. You get a 3801 ballot. Come back. As 3801. Ray
All right,
Lambert.
we can't hear.
And he,
Can I,
Absolutely
we'll
perfect.
discuss this further. Can I have your phone number so I can call you over the weekend? Because you're breaking up. Am I right, Nancy LeBlanc?
Yes, yes, you are.
I can't hear half of what you're saying.
I don't know if it's your microphone or,
So why don't you give me your phone number and I'll call you either tonight or tomorrow or whatever.
because I'm out in the woods, that's why.
What's the phone number?
I will give it to you later.
Okay, Terry will give it to me later.
Anyways,
But basically, I see what you're saying. So now, board, we have two possibilities. One, you got his.
before I hang up, is Mary Ann?
She is right here. She just came in the room. Hold on, I'll give her.
Hello,
Hello, Mary.
how's it
Hello.
going?
It's going good. How are you doing?
Good, you look comfier than me.
Wet outside.
Yeah.
Anyways, you and I spoke the other day. And I suggest that maybe you and Terry and I have a phone conversation. I can explain to you what I think you might want to consider. Then
Okay.
you can to the board and now the thing is, if we are going to do this, I need a decision from you by Monday, because once ES&S burns the sticks for the voting machines,
Yeah.
I can't change it from that. Right now, I have an option to change. So when you do, why don't you give it a call, and we can talk about it.
Okay, what
Hey,
do you want,
Bob,
Monday, you mean?
Not today, if you want. I don't care. I'm here all along. I'm
Yeah,
sitting
Bob, Bob, am I correct? This is Ray Lambert. Am I correct in saying that we set out on it? Now, I know you're new,
It's him because he's
but
out.
you don't mind the 5
Keeps
polling
crackling.
places that I mentioned to you.
If you want to open 5, but I think you can go to less.
No, I agree with you. I'm going to think about that one. And you don't have an objection to moving the Ward 2 polling places, which it's a civic center.
There is no problem with that.
Okay.
No problem. The problem that we have,
You and Mary Ann will discuss, and Kerry will give me your phone number so I can get all of what you said.
there's one thing about moving a polling place from one place to another, but the problem is, do you have anyone,
What was that last one? Do we have any what?
poll workers to work?
Well, that's our,
That might be an issue.
That could be an issue. These
Right.
poll workers in other cities and towns are dropping like flies.
yeah,
They
but
don't-
with 10, we needed 60, as you said, but with 5, we only need 30.
And if we less than 5, you need less.
No, I understand, and I appreciate your new position, but the board will discuss it, obviously.
Mary Ann, give me a call.
All right, I will.
You guys have a nice meeting.
You too.
Bye, Bob, thank you.
Bye, Bob. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead. Is he checked off?
You want to keep listening? You said you
Uh,
could talk to Aldous.
Okay, Kerry. I want
Yes.
the phone number. 'Cause
Yep, I'll give it to you when we're off air.
Okay. Next, do we have anything? Okay, we were on general discussion. JP said, no, I don't have nothing.
No, wait, I've got one thing to say. What he was talking about one polling place, a voting center,
Yep.
that sounded great.
Yes, but the problem is there might be, I got to think about that because that's only 3. He's going to have.
No. He's talking about one polling place. You go
No,
in
I
like the
don't think so.
town hall. They've got runners with all the ballots.
I
You
got
scan your card, they turn in,
cover 3.
send a runner to get a ballot, and the ballot, you vote that and you put it in the machine.
Well, if that's the case, go ahead, Nancy.
Is that what he
The
said?
only issue is the parking.
No, but
Parking at where?
that's why I want to talk to him because he'd say something, then he'd fade, then he'd say, then he'd fade, then he'd say. So what I want to know is if JP is correct, it's only 1 voting center. I got the impression that it would be like 3 polling places, one of which would have a voting center of 3, and the other 2.
That's what he said.
All right. Well, we got to decide at one point or another, but he's got to talk to Mary Ann. I got to talk to him over the weekend when Kerry gives me his number, and then we can.
Are we on the agenda for Wednesday or no? Did I misunderstand that?
He said he was gonna put something on the agenda.
He's got his meeting.
All right.
Yeah.
He said he was gonna put something on the agenda for Wednesday.
Okay.
All right. Public comment. Pat, anything?
I think 1 voting center is a good idea.
Okay. Felix.
Well, Ray, the only thing I'm having a hard time understanding, Ward 1 has Senate 27. Ward 1 has 2 Senate districts and 2 rep districts. We got to bear that in mind. 2 rep district, 2 Senate districts in Ward 1.
I think you know.
Right. So Ward 2 has 1 Senate district, 2 rep districts. Ward 3 has 1 Senate district, 1 rep district. Ward 4, 1 Senate district, 2 rep districts. Ward 5, 1 Senate district, 1 rep district. So depends on how you divvy it up.
Right.
I think you made a lot of progress. The only thing I wanted to add, someone mentioned to me the ballot box. They saw a ballot box in Providence that was overflowing with very small ballot box, overflowing with ballots sticking out. And the observation was made, gee, no security, someone could take ballots. So I don't know what we do for a ballot box.
We have no problem.
Mail ballots.
Never had a
But
problem.
you may want to look at the security of ballot boxes because someone
The
said
Board of Election ordered ballot boxes for everybody who wanted them. They'll be in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. All right.
Anything else on the public comment?
Nope.
Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion. We adjourn.
Bert is not, I don't think.
Bert. Let the record show that about halfway through the meeting, Bert Mollahan disappeared. His name's on here, but I've been calling him and he hasn't. So with
Oh,
that,
he has his hand up, I think.
he does? I don't even see him.
No,
Yeah, Bert is on there with his
hand
hand up.
raised.
Bert! Well, how come
Do
you,
you-
Make a motion to adjourn.
wait a minute.
Here, the limit right now
All right.
is 15.
With that
Okay.
said, Nancy
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Nancy Parenti, you're the sitting alternate Democratic member. You second that motion?
Yes, I do.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted unanimously. The meeting stands adjourned at 4:17 PM. Now, wait a minute. Before
Thank you all.
Wait a minute.
Bye.